Everybody, it's time for the great unboxing. Welcome everybody to another action-packed S&R motoring video on the YouTubes. So if you've been keeping up with the channel, we recently acquired a turbo sponsorship through Maxpeedingrods. So this is the unboxing video of the T70 that they so graciously sent us. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. I have not opened this at all yet. And yes, that is a gasket scraper I'm using to cut this open because I don't have my knife. Use that old gasket. Works pretty well though, I do have to say. A lot better than this camera job that I'm doing. Alright, so what do we got? We've got a customer service card. No, thank you, Maxpeedingrods. We've got a focus on performance. Not reading it. And to the good stuff. It's like styrofoam spaghetti. And more. There she is. Look at this monster. In the box, you get a gasket, oil drain gaskets, a banjo bolt for the feed. Here's this beast. Bam! Check that out. That should make some hearse purrs. Nice and shiny. It's heavy. It's a pretty solid turbo. Let's check out the hot side. Good size. I mean, you should make. It's a yeah. What's that called? Twin scroll. Twin scroll. Yes, twin scroll. Which I do not have a twin scroll manifold, so can't really use that to my advantage. But yeah, I mean, this thing's heavy. There's some heft to it. I have to say, I'm excited to see what this thing is gonna do on the old 7M. Should wake her up than that poor old tired CT26, which, not taking anything away from the CT26, I'm quite pleased with the old girl. So next up, we'll get a visual comparison between the GT45 and the factory CT26. Maybe even throw in a TO4E just for good measures. Alright, so here's the comparison between the CT26, Maxpeedingrods T70, and your generic eBay GT45. This is a huge difference. So I'm kind of interested to, I have an idea of what's going to happen, but I'm really interested to see how the good old 7M is going to act with these three turbos. The CT26 really impresses me for being a stock turbo. It hits pretty hard. This one is an old blown CT that I have, not the one that's still on the car. So the T70 is significantly bigger than the CT26, so I'm really interested to see how it, with the spool up, is it going to be top end, is it going to be all top end? I know this will be nothing but top end. This probably will be miserable to drive, but it'll still be a fun test. This one I'm really interested to see how it does. Another cool thing I noticed about this turbo is, so inlet here, there's not much of a kind of a taper, I guess you'd say, but this almost is like a velocity stack with the way that it kind of tapers in. I really like that. And this big thick flange that you can mount a hose clamp to for the turbo filter. So this one has the anti-surge housing on it. So I mean, it's still pretty beefy, but I really like this almost like a velocity stack into the turbo. And on the hot sides, it's the same thing. This one's internally gated, which you can see some nice cracks in it. This one's in definite need of a rebuild, but this is more just for size comparison. T70, which is a T3 flange, and then the GT45, which is T4 flanged. When the CT26 comes off to swap for the T70, I've got the out of a 90s 4Runner, out of the distributor, I've got the electronics, and I'm going to swap them into the CPS. It's on the SUPRA as a pretty popular mod. I've got a power steering hose that's leaking that I need to replace, and then a trans cooler for the automatic that needs to be mounted up. So lots of stuff coming for the Supra in the near future.